Good morning, everyone. It is Judgment Call. Gripe lines are open, as you can tell. A little bit of change today. She's the angelic one, so if you could suspend disbelief for just, an hour or two, that she's the angelic, pure and innocent one between the two of us, go with that, okay? However, we are keeping this down to 90 minutes. I do have to go get some contacts at 1 o'clock my time, so I got to end this in 90 minutes. So if you want to call in, make sure you do it quickly. Not much really to recap, I don't think. A lot of stuff going on, but we're going to be talking about some stuff later on, not specifically in this episode. But you look great today, by the way. I like that background with you. It looks better on you than just me. This is more my style. That's more you. Thanks. This is more me.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, 'cause you're totally not pure and angelic, but it fits you. It fits the face. Your face is pure and angelic. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You know what? I'll take the compliment.
It's backwards compliments. The only kind I know how to give with you. But no, I do like it.
Backhanded.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe I should just put a little halo around her head. That'd be awesome. I could add that in pretty quick. You know?
I can go buy some pipe cleaners and make one.
Yeah, I got the fire. I mean, I could put some horns. I got the pentagram here. You know, the occult symbolism. You know, so people are gonna be like, "Oh, look at Steve, man. He went full Satanism. He's an atheist now." He's always been an atheist. What are you talking about? He was born an atheist.
That would be something. That would be something that would be a fun debate to watch. And I don't mean like as a debate, just people arguing on the internet about like when Steve became an atheist, or was he always an atheist?
Was he born that way? Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah. It's actually just for men, but whatever. It's funny because I used to love
your secrets.
I used to love occult imagery. I still do. I find it very interesting. But Ozzy Osbourne and Dio and it's all the heavy metal stuff, right? Because I'm a big, huge heavy metal fan, as people know. So heavy metal was just embraced that kind of imagery because it just fits in really well with that no give a shit rock on kind of attitude. So people think I'm a Satan. I know, but see, here's the thing: I love when people argue. Steve doesn't like to use the word atheist because he's afraid people are going to call him an atheist. He doesn't like the word. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care if they call me a Satanist. Why do I care if they call me an atheist? I mean, for God's sake, I don't care. If you want to call me a Satanist, be my guest. I don't believe Satan exists, but I like the imagery. You got a problem with that? So what?
I don't know. I just have the irony of a group that has worked so hard to say that no, for people who are trans and for people who are bi and for people who are women and people who are men all ought to be allowed to call themselves whatever they want, and they're like, but no, Steve's an atheist, fuck that guy.
I'm the special pleading they have, right? People are allowed to label themselves what they want, but not Steve, because Steve is just being dishonest because he uses logic wrong. He uses that damn philosophicalism. Yeah, philosophicalism.
Oh damn, Steve uses the literature and the jargon of the scientific field in which he is speaking.
Hey, here's the funniest part. People are noticing more than ever. I am getting messages all the time on Facebook and I see on DM. I go to sleep and I wake up and there's like 50 million notifications of people that sometimes I don't even know talking about the things I talk about. And I'm like, so, people are waking up. People are getting aware. I'm waking up too, but I got coffee.
Somebody, I just got my tea now. I got some Tylenol ready for me here. It's gonna be great.
All right.
But I woke up today and there's I had a bajillion notifications from some flat earther, and so I told him to call in, and I hope he does.
That would be kind of cool. All right, we have a caller. Yep. Looks like somewhere, I'm not going to say exactly where, but somewhere up northern area, in a colder area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's this? And who's this?
My name's John V.
John V. And what's the temperature where you're at, John V?
It's pretty nice. It's like 75 degrees outside.
Is it? Damn.
Yeah.
I want to change places, man, because it's hot here. It's supposed to get 109 by Thursday here. Yeah, that's hot.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
yeah.
That's spicy. That's the why is the air spicy question.
To you people that use these non-standard type weird things in metric system, it's about 42 degrees. I have literally been in 50 degrees Celsius, which is 122 degrees, give or take. It was 121.9 degrees, and you don't think that's hot, you're out of your mind. Death Valley gets a little bit hotter, And I've been in hotter, but I lived in an area where it was that hot, and it was ungodly.
Was it like more air controlled in the submarine you worked on?
Yeah, no, submarine got to about 140, 145 degrees, give or take, without the AC. And we had the AC go every time you scram the reactor, you lose ship service turbo generators, so you lose all your electrical things. So the power goes out, you lose your AC. Well, during a casualty, you can't just start it back up real quick, so you have to work in the engine room at 140 degrees, and you only work 5 minutes at a time. And we only had it happen one during casualty, and it was hell. But anyways, we're not here for that, caller. What do you want to talk about, John? I just want to talk about heat and thermodynamics. That's just cool. I can do that a little bit.
Thermodynamics. Well, according to the second law of thermodynamics, atheism is wrong.
Yeah, right.
Oh, boy.
I've heard this. Yes, according to the second law of thermodynamics, which most people don't really understand, it is a lot more complicated than what people think it is. It's not just chaos. It's not. It's really unusable energy in the system.
That's not what it says.
No, well,
I read that once.
Here's the thing, though. With the second law, there's really not one set formalization for it. There's different ways you can express it. One of the ways I prefer, which is a more intuitive aspect, is just to say entropy, or the second law of thermodynamics, states that you have unusable energy in a system, that in a reversible thermodynamic process, the amount of thermal energy in the system, some of it will be unusable, and that will add to the overall entropy of an isolated system when there's only one isolated system, and that's the universe. That's entropy.
I am using that for my next time I argue with somebody saying atheism is just a non-belief. I'm going to say it can't be because of entropy.
Yeah, it can't be because of entropy, because chaos. Yeah, it's not really a matter of chaos and disorder. You can have a very ordered system that has high entropy based on your temperature, but there's a relationship there. I mean, what happens when you have higher temperature? Particles start moving all over the place. It's more chaos, right? So there's a relationship there, but just because something is disordered or degraded doesn't mean
everything
it
is chaotic because it's hot out right now.
Right? We're all living in entropic.
Dogs and cats living together, man. Everything's going crazy because it's hot.
Well, let's see. What is the temp right now here? I know John's going, why did I call for this? 92 degrees right now.
No.
I don't know. If you call it here, I don't know what else you're expecting.
Yeah.
Right?
And where I used to live, it's 101 right now where I used to live. But anyways, what's up, John?
Well, I was a big fan of you back during the non sequitur show. Well, actually, before that, during the Great Debate days.
And now you think I suck, right?
No,
he's like, I was a fan, but then he met Cheshire, and Cheshire never had any problems. I mean, he never had any problems until he met Cheshire.
No, Tess is great too. She's funny.
Oh, thanks.
But
not according to some. People think I never had any problems until I met Cheshire. I was like, what?
Steve, shut up. Let him get his fucking thing out. God.
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask you. No, this is. I know this is kind of might sound like a joke, but when you get the non sequitur show back, could you please unban me because I get after all that talk went down.
So can I answer this one, Steve?
Yep.
Unfortunately, we will not be able to unban anybody who was banned on non sequitur show because Reds is going to be taking care of that. So yeah, you'll be unbanned.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everybody who was banned is going to get unbanned. Reds has said he wanted to have like a little party about it. So Reds Rhetoric will be going through and unbanning everybody and then having a lovely, lovely time banning exactly who he wants to ban, which will be the people who caused this in the first place. So.
Now, again, we have to assume we are, if Kyle has two options, give it back or stay in jail. Those are his options. And I don't know what he's willing to do. I just don't. So, but if he does give it back, then that's the plan, yes.
It's just getting ridiculous at this point. I mean, the show's been off the air for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Didn't you know Kyle doesn't care about the show. No one cares about the show, so he's going to go to jail so Steve can't have it. It makes complete sense. I don't know what you mean.
Total sense. I mean, for something he doesn't care about any longer, but he's willing to spend, up to at least a year minimum, because we'll keep renewing and then we'll have to refile, because after a year you have to show the conditions have not been met. You have to refile the entire thing almost. But we'll do that, and he knows we'll do that.
Kat is asking how John got banned. John, how did you get banned?
Really? Well, it was like the first episode of, the Kyle and Mr. Atheist show after all that went down. And
yes.
I was just like, I hadn't seen Steve in like a long time. typed out in chat, like, "Where's Steve?" And "Godless Engineers" by Chloe, Caitlin,
Caitlin,
Yeah.
Chloe, yeah.
She was like, we're not talking about that today.
Not talking about
just like,
Steve, you know,
why?
because we don't
I think that-
want we want to cover up, you know, the fraud that Kyle did. We don't want to talk about the illegalities of what he did. We don't want to talk about that.
There was no collusion.
Kyle did nothing
and
wrong.
I just asked why, and I got banned, and I kind of irritated me because I'm like, I over the course of a year, I know it wasn't much, but I gave the show like $200.
Yeah.
I just asked a simple question, and they're like, "Well,
Wasn't the motto "opinions are sacred"?
I was gonna say opinions are sacred. Where is Steve?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, and from what I understand, you know, Kyle's still going around going, "Oh, I had every right to kick Steve off the show. If you don't like that, F you." And people are like, "Wow, okay, that's not how it works." He's not taking any responsibility.
You seen the salty meme?
This is why I have no doubt he's going to go to jail for a very long period of time by his own accord, because he just doesn't think he's done anything wrong, and he thinks it's some kind of moral win by him sitting in jail. That's how his mind works, I guess.
I can't wait to put all the comments back.
I don't. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out if that's feasible. Now I don't know how YouTube looks at that. Because they might look at that as like, we're gonna have to contact YouTube to put the comments back. If not, we can put the comments on a different video. We'll figure out something, but I don't know how the API works for that. That they allow or disallow. But we still have all those comments because you know they weren't deleting comments. And I was like, we never deleted any comments. It's like, wait a minute. When you delete a comment, well, here's what happens. When you delete a comment, when a mod does, not the person who owns the channel, it goes to a filter, and then the owner of the channel has to go in and remove them.
Yeah.
And Kyle's like, I never deleted anything. You never forged any signatures either, did you? Now.
What? And then I just kind of felt bad for you, Steve, when I saw when there was that one video with you, him, and Red's Rhetoric, and where he was trying to like redefine the terms of your relationship, where basically you'd be his employee. And I just like, what the hell? I mean, you're the one who came up with the idea of the show, and
well, not necessarily the case. I mean, he thought of more the idea because he wanted to do the podcast. I mean, I had conceptualized a lot of this long before. He just kind of, you know, tweaked it. You know, came up with some design stuff for it. We worked on that. We liked it. We liked the way the concepts was. He liked the way I did debates. He was supposed to be more of the designer, and I was supposed to be more the person having the conversations with the people being interviewed and that thing. So he kind of took that over, right? And he became trying to be the sole purpose person having the discussion and trying to just incrementally push me out over a period of time. This had started a very long time ago.
I want Ben to come on to our first episode back on Non Sequitur Show. And like have it be me and Steve and Reds and Ben. And I think that would be
I would love that.
Fun.
Yeah, I talk to Ben frequently.
That would be super fun. I absolutely love Ben, and I think that he should absolutely, because he was such an integral part when he showed up halfway through this court case to be like, excuse me, hold on, player 3 has entered the game. I would like to submit
Kyle just crapped himself because he knew Ben had evidence against him, and he threatened him. He's still threatening him. I will tell you right now, and I have this in writing from Ben that Kyle's still stalking him. Kyle's still trying to get a hold of him. He still will not leave him alone. And that to me, if a guy did that to a girl, oh my God, would there be hell to pay? And what's the difference? He's literally trying to contact somebody who does not want to have anything to do with them. That is harassment, straight up harassment.
Super creep. But I think that like if Kyle is in jail, I think that would be some, with how much flack and bullshit from like assholes on the internet that hate Steve that Ben had to take. I think it would only be fair that he gets that little bit of vindication, a little bit of fuck you.
Oh, I actually told Ben he just should start his own show. He should, start the Smoking Gun or something. or at homies. I'll do at homies or you can do at homies with Ben. I don't even care. Just that would be hilarious, man. That'd be a riot,
All right. Well, yeah,
But I
glorious.
appreciate
I
it,
just
John.
wanted
And
to-
there'll be retribution one of these days. Karma always seems to come around. Hopefully it's slow. Karma is very, very slow. But because people are shitty frequently, the odds are it eventually will catch up to them. Hopefully it has. There's a lot of people right now. There's a lot of drama going on with some people that we were saying were bullies and shitty people from a long time
There
ago.
is a lot of shit going
A lot
on.
of shit, a lot of tea. We're not going to really go into that unless somebody calls, but we will address it at some point. But after the hearing, a lot of things are going to change a little bit, I think, hopefully. And a lot of things we'll be discussing. So, and that's only, what, 2 weeks away? 12
Yeah,
days?
we're 2 weeks out from the hearing for non sequitur show,
Yeah.
and then there's I think that there's some of the drama that, well, I mean, we can tell you a little bit about like what it's about,
Sure.
but we're not going to go into the details of it because we have to kind of it sort of deserves its own thing.
And there's a
because
lot
if
to review.
There's a lot. So if we do it here, we're gonna get like squirreled around because that's the way this show is. But we can't really do it in a call situation. But we're planning on looking retroactively at some of Creepshow's stuff. Because there's a lot of drama going around with her right now and a creator called Emily Artful. I definitely recommend you watch Emily Artful's video.
Absolutely.
However, I will say that it is not for the faint of heart.
Trigger warning,
So
not joking.
Yeah, so make sure you're in a positive enough mood if you are somebody who struggles with that before you go and watch it. So we're just going to touch a little bit on what had happened, but what I think we're probably are going to do is we're going to see what she's done in the past and see if it corresponds with what's going on now. And so we're basically going to review an older video of hers about Steve to see if she's like kind of consistently not good.
Yeah. Now, I hadn't even watched that video until recently. I didn't care enough because I don't watch troll videos, and I knew it was a hatchet. I knew it was going to be a hat job, and I really didn't care. When I say I don't watch things, I don't. But I happened to watch it recently, and it was just holy shit. It was like, really, this is. I mean, there's a type of person out there that just tries to fabricate stuff for views to placate to an audience.
I remember watching her one on Katie Joy, and there were parts of it that were really good, and parts of it that were like, you've downplayed this, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think she missed some very important stuff and tried to overplay stuff that wasn't even important and not even address the issues that we were talking about. It was all personal attack job. And again, that's the difference between what we try to do and other creators. We're not interested in going after people personally. We stick with the facts. This is why we have reams of evidence, reams of screenshots, reams of things we don't have to ever manipulate. We can just show you this is the way it is. Judge for yourself. But that's not what they do.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I read through the court case. I don't need to see what Steve is saying, and I don't need to see what Kyle is saying to know what's going on in the non sequitur showcase. I can read what the court documents say.
Right. Objective, right. So thank you, John. I do appreciate that, man.
You're welcome. You have a nice day.
Bye.
I like him.
Yeah, but that wasn't a gripe.
I can't wait to meet them band.
Well, I'm not kind of gripe. I guess the gripe would have been, I was blocked on non sequitur show. That's a gripe. That's a legitimate gripe. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Totally fair.
I think there were a lot of people that got banned who felt slighted for being banned, as they should have, because they were being slighted. If you're not sure if you were being slighted by Godless Engineer and Caitlin Chloe and Jimmy Snow, all you have to do is read their apologies.
Yeah, they're non-apology
where they tell
apologies.
you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they're basically, hey, our friend lied to us, but we're not going to take any responsibility. And Steve's a mean poopy head, and all the people who watch non sequitur show that made us, semi-popular, we're going to shit all over you. Yeah,
I will put the Emily Artful video in the chat.
It has
I'll
almost 1
link it so
million
you guys
views
can
right
find
now
it.
in a matter of like less than 2 days.
It deserves it.
YouTube Surgeon General asked, will there be a virtual hearing again? No, this he has to physically show up in court, and he won't do it probably because he has 5 failure to appears. We actually have found he may actually have 3 felonies. I mean, he actually has 22 things on his records, 22 counts on his records. I don't know the details, but that is what the investigator told us. And so there's a lot more, I think, that he has left off. And we know he has, I think, 5 failure to appears. He doesn't tend to go to court because he's just scared to talk to a judge. So I don't see this be any different. I mean, in this particular case, if he doesn't show up, there will be a criminal contempt hearing. That's what the judge says. And we will ask for an arrest warrant on the civil contempt. So either way, I mean, he just doesn't care whether he gets an arrest warrant. But we know where he lives. We will have somebody tell the sheriffs when he's, where he's at. We know exactly what he does. He knows this. This is not a big secret, not revealing anything. So.
The Emily Artful video is called "Creep Show's Always Been This Way."
Well worth watching.
And yeah, and the chat says they have another gripe for you. It's Rez for you specifically, Steve. It's I have a gripe. You're still on Twitter.
Yeah, he doesn't want me on Twitter. I don't know. He's like.
To be fair, Twitter is a nightmare show.
Yeah, but he's like, why haven't you blocked negative exponents? I'm like, I did. He's like, but I was only like a few days ago. I was giving the guy another chance because you know me, I get people chances. I shouldn't, but I do. And Rez is like you and says, Steve, you're stupid. Stop doing that. These people are not worth having chances. And I agree with him. Rez is not incorrect. You're not incorrect, but I want people to see. Look, I'm giving somebody chances. They're being a dishonest shithead, and then I eventually blocked them after they produced no evidence for their claims.
Well, I mean, they did admit they okay. So if you want to talk about the conversation that went on with negative exponents on Twitter, basically, negative exponents has admitted to having information about fraud going on and covering it up and not sharing it, and allowing that fraud to continue. So complicit at best, assisting in fraud at worst. So take that for
and isn't that what he claims about other people? I had no knowledge of anything. Matter of fact, some of the stuff after the fact.
He asked for information about what I had to do with the Sean stuff, and I'm like, nothing.
That's
a big stinking hunk of nothing.
That was me too. I was like, absolutely freaking nothing. I literally did not know shit all about it.
I showed up to support him when he said he was having a hard time on the video that Team Skeptic hosted on Red's channel. I don't think you did. I was there because I was everywhere.
I never had anything against Sean. I just never really hung out with him. We're not tight. I never were. But I mean, that doesn't mean I have something against him. But
Sean fucking hates me.
I didn't get involved in any of that stuff though. And yeah, that I knew. That I definitely knew. But as I tell you, that's your guys' beef. Look, I don't
have any beef with Sean. He just doesn't like me, and I'm like, okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't think we're polarizing people. I think we're just people that don't take dumb people who are unethical. We tend to avoid those kind of people, right? So we don't listen to much of what they have to say. We're not interested in that, and so because of that, people demonize us. But I don't think we're polarizing. I don't think we really have any opinions that are that non-mainstream. I think we're pretty centrist for the most part. And I think a lot of people just don't know how to deal with those kind of people. And so they make it out to, to demonize far worse than it actually is, even though I've got a cult symbol here. The irony. But anyways, we have another caller, Tesh.
Hello. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Serious.
I haven't talked to you in forever.
Sorry, I've been, actually, I feel like, knock on wood, might be over a 2-month flare-up. I think I'm finally at the end of it. I think. So, knock on wood, like I said. But this is a very interesting topipic, especially for me, because dumpster fires are my specialty.
You do enjoy them.
That's true.
I don't get it, but you do you, bro. I am not even. Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm just.
If you're not following Mr. Serious on Twitter, you need to, because like when he gets involved, like he doesn't always get involved, but when he does, it just people who are trying to like start shit or cause shit just end up eating shit, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's pretty good at what he does.
Like he sniffed out, who was it? It was I don't remember. I don't care to say their name because who cares about them. But like one of them was like straight up Tinder reject, straight up, and Mr. Serious like sniffed that out immediately. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm not going to mention the person's name either, but I can tell you from experience, this person has literally said how much difficult they have with women because they dump him in a heartbeat. They find out what a narcissistic prick he is.
I can't imagine why.
Again, not mentioning names, but this person has had a long-standing problem with getting dates because he's just so narcissistic.
Okay, so you know what it sounds like? There's an entire subreddit about this, and it's like our nice guys, where it's basically incel misogynistic creeps who think they're smarter than women because they're men, and it's like, and then they're like, oh hey, you're so pretty, and it's just like, do you want to go out with me? No thanks, I'm not single. Fuck you, you bitch, you're a slut.
Yeah, I know, it's like instant dick, right? It's It's
just like, I was just being nice to you.
Like, why won't you love me?
Well,
I was nice to you for 3 minutes. Put out.
Right?
I'm telling you, these
they're
people
expecting something in return.
Incels are like a whole different breed of non-human, but whatever. Wait, can I say that? Or is that stigmatizing incels?
Well, no. I mean, I could do like I could do stuff about incels. If you want to talk about incels, like I'm your guy. I used to be one.
Yeah, but you're not
like,
a dick.
I used to be one for years. Oh well, I'm out of it. But I know exactly all the traps that I did to fall into it, and I know how to get out of it. And I recognize these things, and I know how tragic it is. I know how tragic every step is, and I feel so bad for people who fall into these stigmas that gets them there. But at the same time, they are just black holes of toxicity.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel bad for everybody around them too.
They have a sense of entitlement of some reason.
Oh yeah, but that entitlement is birthed out of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no winning for anybody. It's just an absolute pile of garbage and shit, and nobody wins.
They should be more like, oh, you don't want to go out with me? You got a sister, mom, brother, cousin?
yeah.
Whatever.
There's one thing to be like people being rude. It's the entitlement that gets me, right? Like I don't really care if people are rude very much. Like as long as you're not like, oh, I'm gonna like threatening people. There's a difference between like, well, fuck you anyway, and moving on. It's fine. But it's like, hi. Why are you ignoring me? And all of this happens in the span of 2 minutes. And
it's a pattern, right? It's almost like a script. Hi, I'm the nicest guy in the world. Why won't you talk to me? You're a bitch. It's like, damn.
One of my favorite things, probably one of the best things that I saw on Reddit, and it was from probably not the most pleasant. Like I've looked at their stuff before and reviewed it negatively before, but they did have one that I thought was a great idea, and it was from Female Dating Strategy. And because I don't actually troll through that subreddit, like I'm not looking at the comments usually very much, but I do catch it when it's on the front page. And one of them was, if somebody asks you out, if a guy asks you out to go to a coffee shop or like to go meet you somewhere, suggest a different coffee shop and see how they react. So don't say no or say that I'm not available to go there. Can we go on this date at this place, and change the time and the location? And a lot of like the incel-y, control-y men will flip out at that. Just alone. Just because you didn't even say no to them. You just said, sorry, I'm unavailable at this time. Let's go here and there. And they just...
I don't get that either. That's like, yes!
You want to easily dodge a bullet? Like,
yeah.
Just make a slight alteration to the plan and see if they flip the fuck out.
Why would anybody flip on that? To me, it'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. Whatever, I'll take it. Take it.
Helios makes a really good point. I hate nice guys because they have poisoned the well in regards to being old school, gentlemanly polite. My dad drilled that kind of politeness into me, and now I have to conscientiously moderate my speech.
Yeah, well, I was the same way.
Yeah,
but I don't moderate. Yeah, but I was raised. Look, the guy pays for dinner. You pull out the chair. That kind of stuff. Now, some of it, when a woman says, I'm happy to go Dutch, yeah, of course, do. Absolutely, right? But
yeah,
still,
you don't have to argue about it.
Yeah, but you treat them with respect. You pick them up, things of that nature. But if a woman doesn't want that, that's fine too. But
best way for Helios to adapt to that then would be to be you and don't edit yourself. Yeah. Be honest, but just don't push back too much. If the woman is grabbing for the door, don't shove her out of the way.
Smack. What I mean? Know your place, woman. Know your place.
I need to open the door.
3 feet behind me.
So if you're like, oh no, I'll pay for dinner, and they go, oh well, I'd rather split. Go, yeah, no problem. And so that way you've made the offer, but you're not forcing it on the woman. So in that case, you've sort of you get to be yourself. You're not going to turn people off by them being like, is this how this person really is? Like, because when you try to moderate yourself like that, you do like
you're not
that.
Yourself. You're not yourself.
You're not being yourself, and that's something that will people will notice that, and it will come off worse than if you were just being honest. So I would just recommend being honest and just don't push it on people, and you should come out fine, and you'll probably end up getting dodge a couple like crazy feminazis. Yeah. But
they'll be like, why is he faking this behavior?
Listen, it's not just guys. There is absolutely like the nice girls out there that are absolutely like, oh God, why?
Well, let me ask you a mysterious question, because this is actually what happened.
Kyle is an incel nice guy, creepo.
He turned to everything that he actually hated. He became that that fundamental, con man that he used to, despise. He became that person. But let me ask you a mysterious question, because this literally happened. There used to be somebody on whether she's still on there, but she blocked me over this. Feminist Next Door, who had been a guest on the Non Sequitur show. Never had an issue with her, but she said something that I thought was incredibly, I'm not going to say stupid, but I'll say odd. And it would deal with opening the door for women. And she, it was a microaggression, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, let's use some logic here. So I'm a logic, you guys, okay? Either you open the door or you don't open the door. There's only two options here, right? Either you do or you don't. If you do, it's a microaggression. If you don't, you're an asshole. So when I was trying to explain to her, look, you're telling me it's a microaggression if I open the door for a woman, then you're saying don't open the door because that's the only other option, which means that you're just being an asshole. So, what is it you're supposed to do here? She's like, well, I'm not saying you don't open the door. Yes, you are. You're saying if you open the door, that's bad. That's a microaggression. You shouldn't do it. The only other option you have is do not open the door. There's no middle ground to be had here.
So
she blocked me over that. I'm not even fronting.
The answer is that who got to the door first should be the one to open the door.
Yeah, you don't run 6 feet ahead to do it. Right.
If you're a woman and you're standing there in front of a door waiting for a man to open it for you, you're being ridiculous.
Yeah, I usually do one of two things. If somebody's just right there and they open the door, if I don't
Unless
have time,
you're like a germaphobe or something.
Well, this is how I do it. If I don't really have time to reach above and kind of hold and say no, I've got to go ahead, which I always try to do. But if I can't, then I just go in really fast and I thank them for it. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And then usually it's a double door. Then I hold the next door open for them. Right?
Yeah, or go through and hold it behind you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, or that
especially
too, right?
if it's somebody you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. There's many things you can do.
I hold the door a lot for elderly people. So if I see an older couple coming, I will, even if they're going to take a second, I will open the door and step out of the way and let them go first because they're old.
Oh, great. Now, okay, so now in the back of my mind, if Chester ever opens the door for me, I'll be thinking, is she just being nice or thinks I'm old?
Both.
Fuck off. All right, Mr. Terrace, what do you think?
Well, as this relates to first off, opening a door for somebody or not opening a door for somebody, there's no aggression anywhere, and there's no being an asshole. There's lots of things in the background that could be intense. Like for me, depending upon how much pain I'm in, I may or may not open the door for people. People may or may not open the door for me. It's no big deal. But intent matters. Back in my incel days, I may open the door for somebody, but that's basically I'm putting a change in my I'm going to bed you jar, basically. And that's all it's about. It's about nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's all it's about for incels. And that's why that's always so problematic. That's what everything's about. That's what every dollar spent on every date's about. That's what everything's about. Every open door, everything. So you gotta be sure that your intent is just you being honest with yourself. If your intent is that you're opening the door because you want to stick something in them, then you probably shouldn't be opening the door for them.
And that's something that women sort of have to be concerned about is and it can go both ways. It can be you're overthinking it sometimes, and sometimes it's just something that needs to be a fleeting concern. Especially if this is a man you don't know. If there's some random man running ahead of you to fling a door open that you were reaching for, fuck off.
It comes across as really kind of
it's aggressive.
Yeah.
And so it's not that it's not necessarily even just a microaggression. Sometimes it's just aggressive and sometimes it feels oppressive. So in those sorts of situations. Now, it really depends on if you're talking about in general or if you're talking about a specific situation. If you've got a man that you go out on a date with and he offers to drive you home and this is the first date you've met this person on Tinder or something, there's a decent chance the woman is going to reject that offer, not because they don't like you. And what happens is that men get offended because they think that women are treating them as if they're bad people, when women are just trying to protect themselves because there's a lot of creeps in the world and they don't know you well enough to know whether or not you're safe enough to know their address. So it's a double-edged
That works for men
problem.
too. There's a lot of women I don't want to know my address, even though they do. But,
Well,
yeah.
exactly. This is something that ought to apply both ways, but I think there's a lot of men that
Sure.
do not understand that this is where women are coming
Absolutely.
from, and the woman is just trying to be safe. So they get angry, and the woman sees that immediately as a red flag,
It should.
even though it's not necessarily a red flag. In some cases it is, and in some cases it isn't. But the fact that there's too many unknown factors and there's too much danger in the woman's head, that whether or not that danger actually exists, it's that they believe that like whether or not statistically they're likely, it doesn't matter. It's not about the statistics. It's about that is something that you're told from a young age, that you need to be afraid of this. This is something you need to be concerned of. So you're concerned about it, and so it's just a jumble of blah.
Yeah, I think it should. I think it should always be a red flag, but how much how much credence you give it as opposed to other things. Wait, because a red flag doesn't necessarily have to be a deal breaker, right? You can have a red flag. Okay, this is something I need to address later on, or pay more attention to.
This is noted.
Yeah, noted, and then may turn to something a green flag later on. Say, look, this, I may have overreacted with this, but I mean, people need to be aware of some things. I mean, I'm like that all the time.
Their intention. They may have misunderstood my intention, and that's fine.
I find myself doing it more frequently now than ever, especially with new people, and this as well. It's like, okay, we start them off at like 0.5, and as we notice behavioral things, we notice honesty or dishonesty, we'll move that up and down a little bit, right? But I find myself doing it all the time. Is like, okay, is this person that I think is being genuine? Is this person asking legitimate questions? Are they sea lying? Are they trolling?
What does this person want?
What's
from
the intent? Yeah. What is their goal here?
Yeah. It can be very hard to understand, and when you're reading stories about women getting kidnapped and getting stalked home, and you've got like an entire incel community that's like going out of their way to like terrorize women on purpose, it's like it makes it difficult, and I think it's on women and men to both maybe try to be a little bit more understanding in what is a difficult to understand situation for both parties.
Yeah. Vesta Freya says a good rule of thumb is to never sleep with anybody crazier than you are. I disagree. I think that's some of the fun stuff. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but Steve's pretty vanilla, so it's not really crazy. For me, he doesn't really have any other options.
Yeah, but I do fall for crazy. I people know this. That's okay, But good crazy, not honest crazy. Dishonest crazy, no. Women that are dishonest, they're gone. I just will not even.
I mean, that's everybody for you, though. It's not. That's just a deal breaker for you. Friendships is a deal breaker for you in general.
Okay, so that's not. I'm not being.
I think
sexist,
it's probably a deal breaker for Mr. Serious too, right? I'd imagine.
What? Don't sleep with crazy people.
Or being dishonest is a deal breaker.
I don't care how attractive somebody is.
Dishonesty is a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah. I mean, there might be something that can be worked through depending on the circumstances, but dishonesty is definitely it's a turnoff at the very least.
I think there's a difference between a situation where somebody was dishonest and a dishonest person.
Oh, absolutely. So yes, a pattern is worse. Yes.
I have an expectation of people. I expect people to lie at some point. Now, that doesn't mean that I think that everybody are liars. It just means that I expect it's part of human nature. You're going to lie at some point. It's just the way the world is. It's just I just accept reality.
But here's the thing. I completely agree with you on that, Chesh. But one sec. There are people like myself who have to be hyper truthful because of necessity, which sucks. Because I agree with you. It's against human nature. Most people lie because I think lying is perfectly fine in virtue ethics to save someone's feelings, and there's reasons why people should lie to be virtuous.
If you have a ball in your hand, and you have a dog in front of you, and you fake throw the ball, you've lied to that dog.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're a bad liar. That dog is going to milk that forever.
How dare you? So, I expect people to lie. I mostly expect it to be benign, white lies that don't really matter to my day-to-day life. So most of the time, if somebody's lying to me, I don't care. The only thing that I care about is that if you're going to lie to me, lie well. Because if you lie poorly, I'm going to find out about it.
Yeah.
Then I have to deal with it. Now it's my problem, and I don't want it to be my problem.
I agree with that. If you're gonna be straight up dishonest with me, and somebody who actually claims they care about me, make sure it is such a good lie that I'll probably never find out about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
I have a different view on that. I would rather find out, but at least make it entertaining.
Oh, also that, yeah. If you're gonna like have some respect for me and that I'm not
That's
like
stupid.
dumb as hell.
Why
and
would they
that
think I'm not going to find this out? Of course I'm going to find this out.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like so if you're going to like do that, do like either make it go out with a
Go
bang,
big or go home.
or
Right.
or, yeah, go big or go home, or just do it well enough that nobody's gonna find out.
How about this? Because I think I'm with you guys here. I think it's probably worse to insult my intelligence that I wasn't going to find out than actually lie to me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I feel.
I'm okay
So
with
it's
that.
like,
Yeah, no, I think
if
that's what you said
I
to that.
like,
Sure.
let's say I'm in a relationship with somebody and I'm on my way home from wherever, and I call them or I text them and say, "Hey, are the dishes done?" And they say yes. Does not matter if the dishes are actually done, as long as they're done by the time I get home.
Right.
I'm not
No, I
going to
get
be
that.
offended by that cut. That's not. You've lied to me
Oh
technically,
yeah. Hey,
but
look.
who cares?
Look, when you're living with somebody, all bets are off, and you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah, there's a difference between like the way people are in real life and the way like I don't expect that Steve is going to lie on the show or lie to his audience, but I would not be surprised if Steve held out a treat and then hid the treat from a dog. You know what I mean? Like,
I have fake thrown a few times. Yes, I fake throw.
You bastard! Steve is a liar confirmed.
Yeah. Well, I just want to see if the dog's paying attention, because this dog is really just is a hunting dog, so he's very well trained, and I want to. That's how you kind of see if he's paying attention. And then you put your hand out and like this, and you say sit. He'll sit, and he'll like wait, and then you throw it, and you're like, get your toy, and he'll run and go get it for you. He's really very well trained.
Aww. I don't usually fake throw things for Puck. He doesn't buy it.
He's just like, what the?
He doesn't buy it.
The first 100 times, I fell for that. That's where.
He's not a retriever, so.
All right, real quick, Mr. Sirius, real quick. We have another caller here. You don't have to hang up. You can stick around. But we have another caller. Who's this?
How's it going?
You're not American, are you?
I sure am not. Could you tell by my accent?
Sure, let's go with that. What up? Who's this and what's up?
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
This is Punchy. I'm just figured I'd call in because I'm getting a bunch of hate in the side chat here, and oh my.
Why?
I don't know. Probably do with a bunch of stuff that happened, but
I mean, we know the story and stuff like that, but I mean, we don't hold that against you. At least I don't. I have no reason to. Cheshire?
I know, 'cause you're a good guy. Cheshire's great too.
I mean, there's no it's not. You can't blame victims of people who are taking advantage of them. Like, why would you? Why?
Well, Punchy's never done anything. He's never done anything against me. I only go by what people interact with me and people I care about, and that's it.
No, and I want to make this very clear. In all fairness, I did obviously with what happened. I was not forced or expected to do that. I did it. So I understand I was in the wrong at certain parts. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions.
Sure.
But, I mean, obviously the decisions I made were for a reason. And it's that reason why I made the decisions. I mean, again, like if I care about someone, yeah, I'll be addicted to someone else.
Yeah, I mean, nobody says you were never addicted to people. You were addicted to some people.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I never get that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I just never really cared that much or dealt with it. And, I never really had any direct interactions with you. So I just stayed out of it. But, I mean, yeah, all cards on the table, people know you were addicted to people, whether you had reason to or not, whatever. But I think you've probably grown since then.
I think there are times where it's like it's appropriate and then it's up to whoever was involved to then decide how to take things moving forward. And so that can either be forgiveness and reconciliation, or it's fuck off, never talk to me again. I've had people be fucking assholes to me sideways as hell before in like either DMs or publicly, and then they've come to me later to be like, well, you know what? And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Oh no, you called me a bitch.
Oh my god.
I can never talk to you again. No, my soul is shattered.
That must have hurt you. We got a super chat if you want to read it.
Mr. President for 5 said, "Oh my God, Steve, I just joined. Is your hair color for real now, or is that CGI? You completely threw me off my course now."
CGI is rendered.
Everything is still closed in Canada, and I don't exactly have spare money at the moment. But I had every intention, had I, to get my hair swapped to Steve's color.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
We were planning to swap everything, right? The whole. look and everything. This is one of the reasons I dyed my hair. And then, I wanted her to be like, look at her. Doesn't she look angelic?
She really does. She really does.
I mean, she's got that little glow. She's got that little light right here that glows off her head. It makes it look, pure. And so, I mean, I thought it would have been a good swap because, see how that worked. But unfortunately, she can't really do much dyeing with her hair. She was going to get a wig, but that, I don't know. I was going to get a hat.
I wasn't going to get a wig. That was your suggestion.
Yeah,
it was a decent suggestion.
Yeah. She would look good probably with silver hair, wouldn't she? Yeah.
I think so.
I'd have to go to a professional.
Well, I don't. It'd be more permanent. I don't know if you want permanent silver hair.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. It would go away eventually.
Platinum
My hair grows
blonde.
pretty fast. So.
Well, and the thing is, when it comes to that whole silver or white hair thing, it's not uncommon to see younger women with like their hair dyed.
Oh, I know, it's sexy.
Really light gray or white, and
yeah. No, I mean, look, I mean, the thing is, I have to continually, dye, but I'm okay with that. I'm very good at. I mean, I had a colorist that said, hey, you did a really good job because they thought I went to professional and I did it myself, but I know what I'm doing. But I will have to like continue to do it now, especially on my beard because it grows fast, which is no big deal. But I like the darker look. This is how I used to look years ago, only with short hair, right? So it'd be like pulled back.
My mom says I look more angelic than you did, Steve.
Well, yeah. I said
snap.
this. I completely agree with her. Your mom is correct as usual. Yes, of course. I never wanted to look pure.
I would do silver gray, but I would do like a silver gray, but I need to go to a professional. I might actually get it tinted a color, so it'd be like tinted lavender, because just going flat is like not quite the way my hair works. But because my hair has a red tint, it's not gonna go like a flat gray or flat
I
silver,
did mine
so
brown first, and that had the same problem. I have a little red, believe it or not, and it didn't work.
So I would have to talk to a colorist and like actually go and get it professionally done, because like the hell if I'm bleaching my hair at home, like are you
do
crazy?
not do that. Yeah, no, you'd have to go to an actual professional colorist. But you can. But I only start off with the whole angelic thing with me because I'm usually the nice guy, and you're more the mean person. But
I mean, that's the thing. Everybody thinks Steve is such an asshole, but like I'm meaner to everybody all the time.
I am I don't get it. I'm such a fucking nice guy in real life. It's amazing that people that know me know this, and it's just like I'm so vilified on the internet, and it's so antithetical to actually my personality in real life because I just try to be extremely nice to people.
Internet. What was Punchy gonna say?
Sorry, Punchy.
Whenever I see Steve online, I always see him with a halo on his head, and he's like, "Bless you, my child." And then Chess, she is just like pitchforks and stabbing your back and all that. I'm like, great heavens.
Well, she's a goblin. She's
Listen,
more chaotic than me.
I have way less patience for nonsense. So like I just do not. I don't care. It's like I'm waiting for who was it? I think it was Brainy decided he was like, oh, I'm glad I could, like, to me was saying, I'm glad I could stop pretending you're a good person. I'm like, okay, listen, why would you pretend I'm a good person?
Yeah.
just to like for what?
And what makes you not a good person?
You've accidentally exposed yourself as a complete fucking poser. And then two, when did I ever say that I was a good person?
Yeah, one thing about Chesh, at least she's straight up about it, but she is a good person. Don't let her hard edge fool you. She's really actually a lot nicer and sweeter than people think. She doesn't like people to know that. True. So I already doxed her location as being in Canada. Now I'll dox her personality. She's a lot nicer than people realize. But
fuck you.
Yeah.
Dox crafty.
When you say Canada, you meant the Canada that's in Europe, right?
Canada's in Europe.
What state is the city of Canada in?
Well, if I recall correctly, Canada is actually in the north part of Minnesota, correct?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, it's all blends together up there.
Something like that.
Yeah, you go up to Michigan, Minnesota, Great Lake area. You just kind of like throw a coin and you hit Ontario or something.
Steve's nice to people on Twitter most of the time.
Yeah,
like,
actually,
although like once in a while you'll just be like, you're an idiot, but that's after like 2 hours of like, this is an assessment now, not an insult. I think you're stupid.
And I tell people that I've reached this conclusion. This is no longer a assumption. I have the same thing on YouTube right? When I have people leave a message on YouTube, and especially on my videos with Aaron or Halando, which I thought was a really good discussion. But people, like one person left a message.
Yeah, that one was good.
It was good, and they're like, "Oh, Steve, you just don't know blah blah blah. You're an idiot, blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, here's my evidence. What's yours? Dictionary." And I'm like, "Okay, you were too stupid to have a conversation with me. And this is what I do, and I'm going to continue to try this for a while, especially people that I don't know. I'll be like, look, you're too dumb to have a conversation with me. However, if you want to continue a conversation with anybody else who ever wants to, not saying that they're dumb or smart compared to the person
you are not at this level of this topic. I would change the phrasing to
whatever, but I get your point. I get your point, but again, I've reached a conclusion, not an assumption, but I will tell them, feel free to have conversations on my YouTube channel with other people. Don't tag me. That's all I ask. Don't tag me, because I get a notification when somebody tags me, and most time, I'll go through and I'll address it. But if not, if it's somebody that I don't want to talk to, it's like whatever.
Tag me when you've reached a level that like you've successfully had one or two conversations, and then you can. I can spare some more time for you in the future.
And if they continue to tag me, I block them. And if they don't, then I don't care what the hell they say.
I keep telling Steve he needs to stop having these conversations on Twitter and just tell them to call into the show.
Well, I've been doing that too.
Hey, it's a good time. You just call in, hang out for a little bit, shoot the shit. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Good. Well,
tell us how wrong we are about everything.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're okay, man. Yeah, we're glad you're okay.
Oh man, are you kidding? So in terms of being okay, our weather, like holy crap, this year has been weird. Yeah, we're gonna go off on some random tangent for a second here. But so the fun thing is, when people think of Canada, they generally think of cold. I mean, I understand most people don't assume it's always cold, but that's usually the first thing you think of, right? Now, oddly enough, back in February, it went down to minus 40 here on, I think it was Valentine's Day, because we're supposed to go skiing that weekend, but they closed the list down because it's so cold. So we set a record cold for that day of minus 39 points. I forget, minus 39 point something degrees. And then last Friday, it went up to 40 degrees Celsius here, or 105 roughly.
Yeah, that's hot. Quick correction here. Beetlebart, he says, Steve called me completely inept for trolling that troll. That was not very nice. No, I was not talking about you. I called him completely inept. I didn't say you. Maybe I misworded, but no, I definitely did not say that you were completely inept. I said he was completely inept. I was talking about him being so inept that he just, wasn't at a level to have a conversation with me, but he was free to converse with you or anybody else. I was not calling you inept. Let me correct that. But it's I can understand when people, you tag one person in your conversation. I can see how that can get confused. But I give you my word, I was not calling you inept. I was calling him inept, which he completely was. If you're going to argue with me and you say here's a dictionary, you're already done. Yeah, you're not going to get past first base with me. I'm sorry. I'm not putting out for you.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Did we ever hear back from that guy whose video we reviewed after he made a video when he called in, that the positive atheist guy who was arguing that atheism isn't a positive position?
Nope, haven't heard word one from him. And that guy he is inept. I mean, I don't know what other word to use. I mean, if you're so bad that you don't even have the fundamental basics of conversation and you're trying to correct other people, I'm gonna put that under inept. There's certain subjects I don't talk about. Why? Because I'm inept at them. I don't mind. That's not insult. Do you think I'm going to go around correcting neurosurgeons?
Well, it's because there's a degree of people expecting others to cater to their language and their way of speaking, but that's not how social contracts work. Somebody only agrees to that later on in a relationship. People can't agree to talk to you the way you wish to be spoken to until you've already had a conversation with them and explained to them, like, hey, listen, this, that, and the other thing. And then they have to agree to it, which they don't have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big circle.
Oh, I just say I got a new Patreon. Thank you, Mr. 99. I appreciate that. Whenever I get a new Patreon, that always takes number one priority. I have my things up all the time. So if people PayPal or
screw
Patreon.
you,
Thank you.
He's making money. He's got to holler out those dollars.
Well, he was.
It's all about money.
He was a Patreon before, but
yeah,
but he came back.
And Chesh, remember, he's making American dollars. If we had that, we could just retire.
$4 Canadian. Yeah.
Oh,
if I got $5 American, I just tell my boss, hey, go. be nice to yourself.
Listen,
I'm Canadian. I can't be rude.
Listen, if I started making like $5 American a month, I'd probably just give up everything I was doing and fuck you guys. I'm gonna go Duckscraft tequila.
Whenever I do a payout to Cheshire, I round up and I'm like, keep the change. Go enjoy yourself. Have a nice meal.
Yeah, well, every time I compare American dollars to Canadian dollars, even though, like, joking aside, the difference isn't really that much compared to other currency. But I always think of that one that part in Euro Trip, and the guy gives him an American nickel for whatever part they're in, whatever country they're in Europe. Sorry. And he's like, a nickel, slaps his boss in the face. You see this? I start my own hotel.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yeah, no, the American dollar isn't what it used to be by any stretch of imagination. But look, I'm thankful for any dollar that I get, and I am appreciative. And this is so funny too, because I remember when Kyle was saying Steve doesn't thank people for giving for his fun.
He was like,
and a whole bunch of people said, look, within 5 minutes of me doing something, Steve messages me directly and thanked them, which I do. And so it's the evidence is always against people that are dishonest, right? And I don't even have to say shit. I can just let my Patreons and my followers and my supporters and my members of the channel testify for me. They know.
Kyle's whole rant about that was hilarious.
I was dying. I'm
absurd. He's like, people sent me money to help with my court case, which I misrepresented and frauded them over, but whatever. I wrote an individual message to each one of those people. So you wrote an individual message to an account called Chesh's Dog saying thank you.
Oh, great heavens.
What?
Yeah, I don't think there was even real names on there. At least the people that donate for me, they're real people. The people that have actually been around. They're not some one fake account. One person with like 20 fake accounts.
I'm not going to disparage people from some good fun heckling. I'm fine with that. But to say with all seriousness that he was writing individual thank yous to every one of those ones and keeping in mind like who those were is just like blows my mind. It's like, Kyle, you didn't think about what you were saying for half a second.
He was drunk off his ass. And as Rez points out, he said, why would I forge evidence and do this other stuff? I'm not going to prison over it or something. He said like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sadie.
Like, I'm not.
Wait, real quick. Sadie Marie Jones, good to see you. It's been a while.
Sadie is such a sweetheart.
She's amazing. She's European too, and I'm going to get that out.
Kimo says, but our banknotes in Canada last longer than the U.S. ones because ours are polymer.
Yeah, ours are cotton fiber. But she says, I like
jeans.
I like hair color.
Jeans.
So unlike, we have to keep saying this, unlike other call-in shows, we appreciate when you notice something about the host and compliment on their looks. Or if you want to insult their looks, that's fine too. We don't care. We're not self-conscious like that. Well, we are, but it doesn't bother us too much.
I don't give a shit.
She doesn't.
Well,
I'm a little more sensitive. But actually I don't care. But I do appreciate it. I love when people compliment. If
I make a big change, I would appreciate compliments. But
but other shows they don't like that.
I'm not gonna.
The moderators are like, please do not make comments about the looks
Steve,
of the
you
host.
say this every show. You harp on this.
Yeah, well, that's what happens on their shows too. They harp on it, don't they? So we got to let people know, new people know that we're fine with it.
Oh.
Yeah, every show they do that. Every show.
No.
All I can say for sure is, just given the picture I'm seeing, the three of us all have angelic hair, if I say so myself.
Yeah.
We all do have long hair, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Long hair, freaky people need not apply. So I tucked my hair up under my hat and I went in to ask him why.
I don't think Steve said carbon fiber. I'm pretty sure the U.S. dollar is not made out of carbon
fiber. It's cotton,
listen,
not carbon.
Listen, actually, that might actually be a good idea if America was to start making their carbon fiber. So that way it will help with all the kids carrying around their money to school will be less likely to die when they get shot at.
Yeah, one of these days it'll be out of nanocarbon tubules or something, right?
No, you know what we gotta bring back? We have to bring back the change purse. And the fanny pack. You can keep all your change and all those things.
No fanny packs. I don't do the fanny pack.
Oh, and come on. How about knee-high socks? We all love knee-high socks.
No, 80s were not a good generation.
What about thigh-high the socks? I've heard that thick thighs save lives.
About what?
Rodent, I said, what about thigh-high socks? I've heard that thick thighs save lives.
For women, sure. For men, no.
Fair enough. Rodent, no last name. That's just how sexist. Rodent, no last name for 2 said, "Is this proof I'm a real person now?" Laughing emojis. Okay, listen. The only way you can prove you're a real person is by donating to either Steve or I through Super Chat, membership, or Patreon. Please prove that you're a real person.
Agreed.
Include photos and fingerprints.
And go subscribe to Mr. Serious on Twitch. He plays those Super Mario levels that are like broken nonsense.
Oh, speaking of playing, I went on the GDC channel the other day, and I was doing flight simulators, VFR, on a Cessna 172 and a Cessna 208 Bravo Grand Caravan, and it was fun. I enjoyed myself. That was so relaxing. So if people are interested in flying, I'm be doing more videos on the Great Debate Community channel. But yeah,
I wasn't able to watch it, but it sounds cool.
People were having fun. I
was
didn't
playing
crash.
Oxygen Not Included.
I didn't crash.
You didn't crash? That's just boring.
Didn't crash.
There's a guy.
Nice.
There's a guy on YouTube that does like a flight simulator game, but you get to take on different like jobs at an airport, and he always takes the job of being the guy in the tower.
Yeah, you're talking about Air Force 90, Air Force something 95.
The guy's name? I don't know. I don't remember what his name is.
He's got a million subs.
Is 95 referring to the year or the edition?
He treats it seriously, and it's so funny. It's probably one of the funniest things I said. There was another guy who used to do it in Grand Theft Auto. I think it was GTA 5. There was a guy who used to do it. He used to go in and drive around a bus, and he would actually just he would stop at every stop, and people could get on and people could get off, and he would act like he was just actually a bus driver, and then he would somebody would eventually blow him up, and everybody would get mad.
I would love that. No,
that's literally, back when I was young, that's literally exactly what I did. I had one of those gaming steering wheels, and I would literally do that because, back when I was young, driving a big vehicle, because I couldn't drive at the time, it's cool. I was like, all right, I got a bus or a semi, and I would literally do that. It's hilarious.
Yeah, Air Force Proud 95. Yeah, great stuff. His ATC is hilarious. He'll be going, okay, November Delta Sierra Foxtrot, taxi in runway, Charlie Delta to Whiskey to runway 5 left, and be like, why do I have a hot air balloon on my runway?
Air Force Proud 95 is what Chad is telling me. And I'm amazed that you guys know who it is.
Yeah, I watch his stuff.
I
watch his stuff.
I love stuff like that.
I like flying stuff. I watch a lot of flying videos. Great. I know people don't know me at all, man, but I do watch a lot of flying videos. And some of that shit is hilarious for the ATC controllers that they do. And some of them are legit ATC controllers. He's an actual pilot.
I just like it when people take random crap seriously. And it's like there's the straight man just being like, excuse me, sir, I need you to put your hands up. And somebody's playing a cop in GTA, and instead of being a cop in GTA, it plays like he's a legit cop. So he's just I need to pull you over.
Yeah, well, that's what they kind of do in this. They'll do things like
their car is smoking and he's like, your taillight's out.
That's what they're doing. This they'll have something like, we just have an F-16 illegally spawn on 819er left. Can we get any F-16s to intercept and just take them out real quick? Go weapons hot.
Thank you for 2 says that was really fun. Quote, that was really fun. How do I landing legs?
They take that stuff very seriously because they're real pilots and real people and ATC, and so they take a lot of that seriously. They have a lot of fun with it too, because when people go in and do stupid stuff, they'll just annihilate them.
It reminds me of that one call that got leaked that was an American aircraft sub or something saying that there was somebody in their way and demanding they get out of their way, and the people kept saying no, and then they said who they were, and they were like, well, we're a lighthouse.
Oh yeah, cause I watched a video about that not too long ago actually, and it was. I'm not sure how the actual story went, but the story that I heard that was paraphrased from that story was that it was some naval commander. He's like, yeah, we need to move however many degrees north.
We will fire on you if you do not change course. We're a lighthouse, so you do you.
And they were arguing, and he's like, yeah, you have to move 50 degrees north. He's like, no, you have to move 50 degrees south. And he's like, listen, buddy, I am the commander of whatever naval fleet, whatever ship number and all, etc. And he's like, yeah, well, listen here, I'm in a lighthouse. And then he crashed into it.
That's hilarious.
Free to Play says, "Excuse me, sir, you were flying a rocket motorbike too fast."
You'd be surprised what happens in real life. There has actually been real ATC here. You can actually listen in when there's like, we have a jetpack sighting 2 miles north of the Los Angeles airstrip. Be advised, pilot advisory. It's like, wait, you got a jetpack? This is no joke. Seriously.
There was I've been enjoying kind of people playing games recently because there's just been so much drama going on for the past couple of days, and I do mean like actual drama. Like people are fabricating bullshit for views, for links, for whatever. Like, and that's just the direction that they've decided to go. And you know what? It's fine if you want to go that direction. Whatever, nobody cares. It's like when you start actually literally threatening people and committing crime, where you start have to take it seriously. If it was just random accusations, whatever. Everybody's gonna do that. You can't respond to all of it. But it's just been so much. So I actually took a break and just did some gameplay. And I would like to inform everybody who was watching my League of Legends stream, I did play some ranked. I was at 99 LP in Silver 3. I won the next game and jumped to Silver 1. Didn't even have to play promos. So that was nice. But also, I was playing Oxygen Not Included. I took a break, but I continued playing, and so the bedrooms have been successfully moved. Our water system is running well and fine. We have a room set up. We have a farm area set up, and we have a food and plant area set up. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is getting oxygen creation that doesn't utilize algae, and that's where and all of our fish died because they got old. Sad day. They lived a full miserable life and not enough water, and sorry, they're dead.
Real quick,
Real
quick, I know AT2 has experience with aviation electronics, but does he actually do flying as well? I mean, because if you know about aviation electronics, you have to learn how planes fly, but you actually does he actually fly?
We're waiting for AT2 to answer that, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're not asking me, I assume.
Oh, I'm both. I'm asking him, and if you happen to know. Because your husband,
says,
you don't know shit about your own husband.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
You guys even talk? I mean, do you do pillow talk? Do you know each other?
No, we don't really talk because we're always on the same page. We don't need to talk.
See, they've been together so long.
Yep. AT2 says, it's funny that you mentioned that. It's almost like all the knowing subscriber count shows that someone is just spreading drama shit for channel growth.
Well, we
I don't. Ugh. I don't care that much about like random accusations. People make random accusations all the time. It doesn't matter, especially when it's like involving Steve or tertiary related to Steve, 3 times removed from Steve or me or Red's rhetoric or whoever. Because people are going after that.
Are you saying that people run their mouths off on the internet with no information whatsoever?
Shocking, yes.
Yeah.
Thunk it.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you ask them for evidence, they do one of 3 things. I notice this every single time. We'll call it Steve's trilemma. They do one of 3 things. One, they'll throw some. Yeah, I just made this shit up. Exactly. So one of the things they'll do is they'll throw out irrelevant evidence that has nothing to do with anything, hoping that you don't really look into it too much, and go, "Oh, look, here's spewing bullshit." 2, they'll just completely ignore you, or 3, they block you.
Well, then the problem is the third option is usually the path least traveled. People don't like to do that. They just have to go and throw.
Well, that's what we tell people. Ask for evidence. If somebody says some bullshit, random crap, say, "Okay, what's your evidence for this?" And then evaluate it. Wait, is this completely unrelated? Do they take things out of context?
I think we had that conversation on Caffeine Corner a couple of times where it's just like, you can't expect us to, like, people are spewing shit and they say, well, go ask them. The thing is we're not the one making the claim. They are at that point, and we do not have time to go through every single nonsense claim people make about us. I'm pretty sure somebody said baby Nazi killer to me once, and I was like, there was no punctuation, so I was very confused.
There's no punctuation.
Yeah. Well, and also, let's be honest here, like, who cares? Like, people have to understand on the internet, they're not that important. Like, just like with you guys, myself as well, I don't care if some person who I don't even know, I don't know their real name, I don't know where they live, I don't give 2 shits what they say about me. I'm not going to waste my time fucking digging into that to fucking defend myself. Like,
well, the only thing I cared about is how they went
I only have so much I only have so much patience for, like, I don't care to correct people, even when it's sometimes people that I like get something wrong about me, and I don't bother to correct them because it's like whatever. Nobody cares.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't either.
But at the same time, it's not that I'm letting them just be wrong. It's just like, listen, I don't have all day to just make sure everybody knows every little thing exactly correct about me across the internet. That's absurd. But at the same time, it's when it escalates into threats and crime, then you've got a different problem on your hands. And now it's a matter of like, okay, listen, we need to address this. I literally did a video talking about how threats and threats of doxing are not okay. I then had this rape apologist guy come in and tell me that I needed to say that rape and or say that threats and doxing aren't okay. And I'm like, I just did a whole thing about that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I usually do this. I wait for other people to ask. And so, look, if a person makes an accusation and nobody gives a shit, then why? I don't care. But if somebody says, "Hey, Steve, I've heard this, and can I get your side on it?" and they're an honest person, I'm happy to give them information. Very happy to. And people have always known this. So like, there was a narrative put out about 3 years ago, I guess, give or take. They're like, you can't go to Steve for evidence. He'll block you. Ask for evidence. And then everybody came to me for evidence. And I gave it to them. I'm like, well, that clearly isn't the case. And I've told people, look, I'm happy to give you evidence if you're an honest person, not some sea lying person. And people know that now, so they know that story was bullshit. But I didn't have to sit there and defend myself for that. I just had to do me and say, look, okay, you think that's the case? Let's try it out. Let's put the theory to practice. And people found out that those people were lying. Shocker. Great question for you, though, real quick, Chesh. Somebody has Kyle's goldfish, which is probably dead by now because it wasn't fed properly and water temperature. But Kyle's goldfish says,
and it's been 2 years, and it like goldfish don't live that long necessarily.
some can, I guess. I from my understand, some actually live quite some time.
Yeah, some of them can.
Yeah. When is
if you take care of them?
Go ahead.
Okay, what I've heard when it comes to goldfish is apparently they adapt to the size of their reservoir.
Yeah, they grow bigger and smaller.
I've never looked into it.
That's true.
So I don't know for sure how big they get, but apparently, yeah, if they're taken care of properly and have proper nutrition and a proper living space, they can get pretty big and live pretty long.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah,
I've heard
but we're talking about Kyle's goldfish, so it's probably dead.
No, that thing's long dead.
Yeah.
That poor goldfish. Oh.
This goldfish is speaking to us from beyond the grave.
So you already answered in the live chat, but if you're going to answer live, they ask, when is Caffeine Corner on, and what happened to your show that time of the month? Sorry, been in and out of YouTube for a while. Great question, actually.
Yeah, so Caffeine Corner has actually changed to this show now because Caffeine Corner sort of ran its course and we didn't really have anything that we felt needed to be addressed. But we have done one what was that, a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
We did do one. So they'll be like Caffeine Corner's turned into like a once in a while special now, and now we have the call in so you guys can come and talk to us sort of more about the topics and utilize the stuff that we have tried to sort of expound upon on the Caffeine Corner episodes about whatever's going on in your guys' lives, whether it be on the internet or not on the internet. It doesn't matter. With that time of the month, because Mania's off taking a break and Sweet needed to take some time away from the internet, and Nikki's kind of off doing her own thing. She's doing Facebook stuff. We've sort of turned it into a less often when there's some shit going on, we're going to have one. I do believe we're going to be having one soon, but it's not scheduled yet, and I'm not entirely sure who's going to end up being available for it. So I'm still sussing out the details to find out when that's going to be, but there will be one coming soon. It's just no longer necessarily like a super regular show, just because things have gone so up in the air recently about who's around where doing what with all the nonsense that's been going on. So once things have settled down, hopefully we'll be able to get back into a more regular scheduled thing, but for now it's kind of just been backburnered.
I by the way, I still think that's one of the greatest names for the show ever. That time of the month? Yeah, it's just.
Oh, that was Sweet's idea.
I know,
it was amazing.
I'm not trying to suck up to her. I didn't say whose idea it was. I wasn't scoring any.
No,
points,
I'm saying whose idea it was.
It was brilliant.
It was great.
Fucking brilliant. I wish I had thought of it. I can't. But by the way, Kyle's goldfish.
Yes, I can post schedules on Twitter when we're a little bit more.
Kyle's goldfish has taken what you said as a death threat. Just FYI. So. At least FBI will be involved.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah, I guess the FBI, if America is investigating Cheshire in Canada, I don't know how this works.
I have bits and coffee that's been waiting for like a year.
Not sure how that
thing
works.
is right now. Yeah, well, right now they're standing at the border, handcuffs ready, just waiting for her to get.
We
to
know
that
she's
border.
in there somewhere.
Yeah, grab your telescope or your optoscope of some sort. We can
Your
see her.
Nikon
She's right there.
P1000. The flat earther camera of choice.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I remember when.
Hey,
Go ahead.
I was gonna. If you zoom in, you can pull her back into view.
Yeah, exactly. She'll come back over the horizon. No, I remember when
There was a flat earther on Twitter today that I woke up to, and I do hope they call in to talk to us. I did suggest that they call in, but I don't really want to do a whole ton of flat earther stuff. I also have like a way different way of approaching flat earth stuff, but I don't think we're really going to do much of that on non sequitur because it's so sucked dry that there's nobody that's really worth talking to, and all the conversations have kind of been had. But if there's like a new, fresh face that actually wants to have that conversation, I think having it once in a blue moon might. Yeah. I think it was totally fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
in my humble opinion.
And when it comes to like, flat Earth I shouldn't say any conspiracy theory because a lot of them, in all fairness, no one really knows. We can only go up with the information we've been provided. But that's why I like the flat Earth because that's the one thing you literally can figure out for yourself. So you don't need to listen to.
You have two brain cells,
government.
And you can rub them together.
Yes, exactly. And
that's like a whole three things.
Yeah, but that's multitasking to an extent, and
but
you gotta have one hand doing something and one hand doing the other thing. And
But Punchy, straight up, flat Earth, as Rez points out, flat Earth is actually dying. I mean, Ranty, who used to be a flat Earther, which, by the way, I would like to have come on and talk to us, either on here or on Non Sequitur show. We're saving a lot of stuff, obviously, if we ever do get Non Sequitur back for that. A lot of guests are lined up that we want to have on. But I would like to talk to him about that because he was a flat Earther. He left flat Earth. Flat Earth is dying.
And the thing with Ranty is, in all fairness, I don't know him personally that well, but I do remember back even when the whole Patricia Steer thing was going on. Mm-hmm. He was one that spoke out saying, "No, why are the flat Earthers treating her like this?" Because all the conspiracy theory bull crap that they were starting up, and he was even saying, "No, it's fucking wrong. It's bullshit." Mm-hmm. And then given that, and in all fairness, I wasn't really in the community during his transition from flat to normal person, but
from flat to normal person.
Yeah, but from what I've heard, he actually seems like a fairly, to an extent, level-headed guy. He was just wrong about a couple things.
I think
he
he's
actually
legit.
Was looking for the truth. He wasn't making a presupposition and then trying to find whatever agreed with it. He just looked at the evidence, and he just, unfortunately, for a long time, didn't evaluate it properly.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I've listened to him, and I obviously know Ruhif, and Ruhif was instrumental, I think, in that.
I am convinced that the new big dumb of the internet is these philosophy deniers. I don't know what to call them. They're just like
denialist.
Logic doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It's like what. They have got to be some of something is either true or false, but what if it isn't? What's the other option?
No, and I'll give you
wait.
Go ahead, Punchy.
Sorry, guys.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I haven't, this is news to me, because again, I haven't really followed a bunch of it recently. There are people saying that something can't be true or false?
Yes.
Well, sort of, yeah. I think what happens is this. I'll give you a perfect example. Guy came into the Great Debate community on Facebook the other day, right? And one of the questions we ask in the questionnaire is 0.9 and repeating equals 1. And I tell them, say yes, it's math, right? I'm being a little flippant, but at the same time, I want to see, again, that's my litmus test for objectivity. And they're like, yeah, close enough. And so I inquired about it. I'm like, well, what do you mean by close enough? And this person said, they're doing complete sophistry. They're like, well, when you're asked if they're equal, do you mean mathematically or do you mean philosophically speaking, as if the symbology is, and just had this big old long rant. And Dr. Kroon, who has a PhD in astrophysics, and a bunch of other people, Kroon. He's just like, you're a moron. Straight up, you're a moron. And a lot of people are like, dude, we don't deal with sophistry here. You're not being an intellectual when you're saying stupid shit like, well, what do you mean by mathematically equal? What do you mean by this? We don't play that. That's not how you do philosophy. When you say is one equal to 1, you're saying yes, it's mathematically equal 1 equal 1. It's an equality.
1 is 1. Yeah. A
right.
is A.
Yeah, A is A. That's identity. Yeah. And so people like that, they just kind of misunderstand philosophy. And they abuse it, right? They try to be sophistic. And then you have other people like, well, A equals A doesn't really represent reality, like John Richardson.
Oh, there's such like a pocket of these people that just sound nothing but I'm 14 and this is deep.
That
what
is true
reality?
armchair
And
philosophy.
it's like
Trying to sound profound and wise and deep, and you're not sounding that at all. You're sounding sophistic, and I don't deal with that.
Well,
I mean, there's something wrong with some sophistry sometimes.
As a teaching tool.
Just using it appropriately.
Yeah, I don't mind sophistry as a teaching tool.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, obviously, certain times it does come into play, because as humans, we don't know everything. Anyone with half a brain would understand that. But with your example, Steve, when you're saying that, with math, it's like, well, no, math is always 100% accurate. The problem is how it's applied is not always 100% accurate.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, I got no issue with that. But I
Well,
believe we have a priori knowledge.
Where we've been wrong in you can be incorrect in maths.
Yeah.
Like there's been maths that and equations that didn't work out, right? It's just like what you mean. I think is like the well-established like gravity equation and those types of
no. What I'm
physics.
saying, just to the simplest extent, is that 2 + 2 is always 4. But what I'm saying is that when we use math to make measurements, when we use math to determine things, that's where there can be
precision.
mistakes.
Yeah, that's precision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because again, it's applied improperly, or the measurements were just off. But what I'm saying is, math itself is always correct as long as it's done properly. Like it's always like pi is always going to be 3 by 1 4.
Well, hang on. I agree with you 1,000. By the way, I agree with you 1,000% on that. However, there are in the new critical thinking, or not critical thinking, critical race theory. Without the colonization of the white people in Africa, people have argued that they may have discovered pi that may have been something different than what we have known to be pi now, which is completely nonsensical. But I've had people, I've seen people argue stuff like that. Well, they may have came to some other value of pi. No, pi is pi. It doesn't work.
Well, but the thing is, the value itself could change depending on what you determine a number or a degree to be. But it's always going to be the same ratio. That's a better way to put it.
Well, that would be.
That goes to your
you might not
right?
call it. Yeah, you might not call it pi.
With the numbers that we use, we would call it 3.14. And I mean, in all fairness, it wouldn't really change. But I did see a documentary years back, and they made a really good point. They were saying if we were to talk to aliens, like even though math and numbers are the same, it's more or less what would they establish
they would express it in a completely different way, but
like,
it still would be the same ratio, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, we've got some stuff in the chat that I want to get out. Intrigue Feline is asking thoughts on young Earth creation / anti-vax or other biology things when it comes to like the new dumb stuff. And then also says someone the other day said that science is totally separate from philosophy and the belief is the proposition. Things like that. Dumb.
That is the dumb. I mean, science is useless without philosophy. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Well, I was going to say, because to an extent, they're one and the same. I mean, the one difference is philosophy. Yeah, because philosophy in itself doesn't really require, measurements or that kind of stuff. But to be scientific, you have to be philosophical because you have to think about things. And you could be wrong, but without having that thought process, you'll never get anywhere. Because even, what's his name again? I'm going all over the place here. No, it's one of those famous scientists from the not Carl Sagan, but
Ross Tyson,
the Italian guy,
Alex Filippichico, Carl Sagan. He's not Italian. Italian guy.
He might not be. I can't remember.
What does he do?
He's really he was a physicist, but he's just one of those big names. But again, it's just back. This was back in like the 60s or 70s, and
Enrico Fermi, Pauli, Wolfgang Pauli, Oppenheimer, Heisenberg.
No, the second I hear the name, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was him. But it's just
Derek.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
There's a lot of famous scientists. I don't know. Was it
Richard Feynman?
Richard
Feynman. That's the one. Yep, that's the one. And again, I'm
Landon studied under Feynman. Fun fact, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, again, I'm paraphrasing what he said here, but it's one of his lectures when he was teaching a university, and he said a part of science is you literally make something up. And the class kind of chuckled. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, don't laugh. I'm not joking, because it's true. That's literally what science is. The thing is, the difference between philosophy, well, to me at least, the difference between philosophy and science is that once you make that assumption or that guess, is you measure it, you find a way to quantify it, and you find a way to
test it,
to find out whether it's right or not. Whereas philosophy, you don't have to do that. Philosophy, you can kind of say, like, the river dragon always flies by the tree with the most leaves, and that's just the way.
Yeah, philosophy does not. Philosophy is not comprised solely of empiricism, but Feynman is absolutely right. Science. The first thing a scientist does, and people have laughed at me this. They're like, "Not how the science works." Look, I do think I understand hypothetical deductive methods. I do think I understand scientific methodology to some degree. And one of the first things a scientist does is they make a guess. They do make a guess.
You literally have to, because you make an observation,
because you have,
and then you think to yourself, what could be causing,
and then you draw upon that, right? You get, and then you say, okay, is this? Okay, there's something called accuracy and precision, and most people do not understand the difference.
I love that. Yes,
and
accuracy is how close you are, whereas precision is how close all the data.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Accuracy is more along the lines of, look, if this is my target area, and I want it to be in that target area, that's accuracy. But if it's not a type grouping, it's not precise. I can have a whole bunch of data points that's on my plots that I can have in a very, very small grouping that is extremely precise data, but it's not accurate because it's not in where we expect it to be. So, if my sights are off in a gun and I have it really over here and I'm just shooting, it's very precise where it's landing, but it's not accurate because it's not firing.
Not accurate, exactly.
Right. Accuracy and precision are not the same thing.
Yes, and the best way I can portray this is, so back when I was in high school, that's actually why when you said that, I was like, oh shit, I remember this, because they actually, on the textbooks that we had, they had a picture and they literally described that. And what they had a bullseye, like for archery, and they showed how accuracy, the arrow went straight into the bullseye.
Yes.
And precision was a bunch of arrows, but they were off to the left or the right or whatever.
But
and they were all very close together, but they were not accurate.
Right.
So something else in the chat is Helio says that this may be biased, but I think the next big dumb is MAGA people. They're already a big dumb. They're not a new big dumb. And I don't know, politics is such like a different beast than dealing with like a scientific topic.
Yeah.
So like if you're dealing with biology or if you're dealing with philosophy or you're dealing with math, politics is like a whole different social thing, a phenomenon that you have to like. It's just such a different beast. And like I recommend watching Egghead, because he's got some really fun breakdowns of people like Greg Locke and Josh Fierstein, and those are some two pretty big MAGA people. I would love to have Egghead come on and have like maybe a debate discussion with like Mario. That would be, I would watch the hell out of that. That'd be fantastic. But it would like politics is a fun thing to discuss, and maybe having like a non sequitur politic edition once every couple of months might be valuable. I mean, we talked to Adam Kokesh and that shit. So
real quick,
I'd probably end up doing that. But.
Just to wrap up the whole thing with Punchy, I bet you money though there are people out there that say, oh, accuracy and precision are synonymous. They're synonyms, and I get people tell me they don't understand what synonyms mean. Synonym means that there's some relationship there, but that doesn't mean they're exactly the same. They're similar. You can't take the word accuracy in a paper and put precision and have them be coextensive. It doesn't work that way. It changes the sentence. It changes the propositional status.
This is like when people don't understand the difference between the difference between trying to persuade somebody and trying to convince somebody. Yeah. Convincing and persuading are two different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, too, it depends on how the word is applied and in what context, right? Because they're synonymous, and colloquially speaking, they would be the same thing. Like if I were to say, let's say I was moving furniture around, and I said, "Yep, that's precisely where I want it," or I said, "Yep, that's accurate to a T." That would be fine.
Yeah.
But again, it depends. If it's applied scientifically, it's the same thing with like the word theory, right? Like colloquially speaking, theory just means a hunch, it means a guess. Now, scientifically, it means it's had a lot of data and measurements and etc. back it up.
Right, but I get
that's not entirely accurate, right? Because there's theory in biology, and then there's theory in music, and then there's theory in like it's a game theory, which is usually stuff that they've actually gone through and found evidence for. It's not just a random guess. So you've got like all kinds of different.
Wait, are you guys saying that words have different usages and different domains of discourse?
Yeah, like faith and belief.
Crazy talk. You're all nuts.
Like one of the most complicated languages that has stupid, unnecessarily different meanings for words. Like, you know the word
or certainty and knowledge and belief are all very different things.
Yes. Like, do you know the word set on, I think it's the Merriam-Webster dictionary, has 119 different meanings?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, words have different usages, different senses of the term. And this is why when somebody says...
Could you imagine trying to use a dictionary to say that this is the true meaning of the word set?
Yeah. Or do you use a dictionary to try to read a scientific paper or a philosophical paper by using a dictionary? You're not going to understand it. And this is why when people say,
my favorite is like the level of cherry picking when you're dealing with the new atheism.
Oh yeah, because they'll be like, oh, well, I won't let us...
It's not even that they're like, oh, look, this dictionary says this. They've also cherry picked the dictionary.
Yeah, well, they're like, this is the one true thing, and they won't let a creationist go, well, species means kind. Well, no, it doesn't. Theories means guess. No, it doesn't. Evolution means change. Well, no, it doesn't. And yet they'll say like, well, atheism and non-theism are synonymous. They mean the exact same thing. And people are like, no, they do not. They never have.
We are at the 90 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I just noticed that 12:30. So we're going to wrap this up. Let me see real quick. John. Okay, one sec. He is here. So I asked him to take. I guess
we're professionals here. I don't know what you're talking about. Punchy, do you have any last words that you want to give us and then get the hell out of here?
1 minute.
Not
Steve,
really.
mute yourself.
I can't.
You monkey.
We do precise productions here. So
yeah.
sorry.
Well,
but no, I got to get going because I gotta go. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Shut up. We're trying to wrap up.
I was going to say, as far as last words, I have nothing, but thank you guys for having me on for so long, because I'm sure everyone wants to hear my stupid voice. But other than that, yeah, it was a great conversation. You guys are both awesome. People inside chat, for the ones that like and dislike me, well, you're all cool, so it's all good. Anywho,
look, if you don't piss off somebody, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, other than that, thank you for having me on. Thank you for keeping me on for so long. It's been enjoyable. Other than that, awesome conversation. You guys have a great fucking day.
You too, man.
We'll see you later, man.
And thank you, Mr. Sirius, as well.
Does Mr. Sirius have any last words for us? Punchy, get out of here. I see you still in here. Go away.
We've never kicked anybody. I'll make a start.
Hang up.
I think that looking at the political things, there are cults in politics. I think this MAGA thing might be interesting to look at in a cult.
Oh, I agree. It's cultish.
Thing.
Oh, absolutely. Go look.
Yeah, avoiding the conversation about politics and actually just looking at like the psychology, the grouping, and like the art, like the arguments that they try to make could be very, very valuable. I would agree with that.
For another time. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. To let you guys know, on Thursday, I am on Jabel's show. He came on my channel the other day. I'm going to be on his channel at 6 o'clock. And then Friday, I'm going to be on his. On Thursday, I'm going to be on Claire's. I'm going to be doing Am I the Asshole? We're going to be... yeah, not me specifically, but she's going to be like reading Am I the Asshole? And she wants a man's point of view because she put on Twitter, she's like, I need to find a man. I can't find a man. And I was like, well, I don't know if I consider to be, but
Steve, the hero that he is, answers the call.
I answer the call. I'm a man. What do you need? And so I'm going to be her token male on Am I the Asshole? Because she usually only has females on. So I'm going to be the token male. Yay. But that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Claire's really cool. I like her.
I will be back probably on Tuesday. Wednesday, I am doing something else. I don't know. I don't remember what it is. I agreed I'd be somewhere, but I've forgotten what it is.
You gotta have a schedule. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I gotta remember who I'm going to and when and where. I think it might be Dapper,
my green
but I don't remember. He'll yell at me.
She doesn't keep. I have a calendar. Without my calendar, I'd be lost.
I was doing really well at keeping a calendar on my phone, and then I stopped because things got crazy. But the time when you should use it more. But I have a handful of things that I need to go over. But I am probably still going to play a little bit more Oxygen Not Included tomorrow because I was having a really lot of fun with that game, and I'm busy as hell today. So I will be back this week soon, and I will let everybody know when we have the next That Time of the Month scheduled, because that should also be very soon.
By the way, I usually tell Cortana to do stuff for me, but she's not talking to me lately. She says that well, I'm not even kidding. I like, hey,
because you're cheating on her with Claire.
I think she thinks I got something going on with Siri. Hey, Cortana. Yeah, she doesn't. And then when she does listen to me, she's like, I can't do that right now.
Oh, D&D will be, our D&D stream is not this Monday. It is next Monday. So if you would like to come to our fundraiser, Dungeons and Dragons stream, that is Monday night at 7 p.m. But it is not this Monday. It is next Monday.
Look, Chesh, they're talking about smug.
That's a bi-weekly.
They're talking about smugs. I got my smug. Got my coffee smug right here.
Smug.
My smug.
Yeah, I have a store. If you want some Goblin merch, you can go find some Goblin
Smuggy.
merch.
All right, thanks, guys. Make sure
I do have some paintings that are going up there this week. So I would check if you want like a rocket ship painting or a painting of some thing else that I'm putting up that I've also forgotten what that is at the moment. But yeah, go check.
Kimawaki reminds us, use the community tab to post upcoming streams. I usually do. I didn't for this. I apologize. But yes, I have been using the community tab for posting streams and other people's as well.
Oh, I should probably do that over on my channel too. That's really smart. Yeah. And I should make them all. Okay. I have an idea. I'm gonna sass.
But
I'm a sass.
We would appreciate if you guys share these videos and get them out there as much as you can. Because
like, share, scrub. Yeah. You literally can't smash the button. You can only touch it lightly.
Yeah, was that Kyle that said something stupid like that?
Yeah, it's so weird.
That's just...
Let's get out of here.
All right. Yeah, my brain's fried. I gotta go.
2 weeks. The countdown.
Not even that. It's
11 days.
11 days. Yeah, 10 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. No, 10 a.m. Pacific. So 70. No.
Let's all hurry up
Eastern.
and wait for Kyle not to show up to court again. Yay!
Yay! And good night.
Thanks for calling.